over 20 years.
Wow.
Where they are, you know. So it was nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
I enjoy your pictures. I'm envious of all my friends that are there. I'm here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were fortunate that my dad was feeling good enough to be able to take the boat out. So he has his days. So
that's fun. I was
It was
watching all
nice.
your dolphin pictures. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that just, we lucked out. You know, it was just, we just happened to be, he wanted a sandwich. We stopped, we just got into the Gulf, and he can't go far because he gets really tired. He's got cancer, so he tires very quickly. So we just had our sandwiches and floating, and the dolphins were just all around us feeding. So it was nice. Yeah, it was kind of cool.
6 more weeks and I will be there.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, he took us all around, just pretty much showed us all of, St. Pete and Terra Verde, which is like the most expensive place to live down there. So it was nice.
We are at 1 minute out, just letting everybody know. And I do want to remind you, this is social hour. People are having a little bit of a connection. But I do want to remind you that that this is being streamed and shared. So you may want to keep your phone passwords and your ATM codes to yourself. You may want to not, disclose anything that you don't want to share with everybody in the world. Steve was just sharing how we're doing it right over here, so we know that there's a lot of people tuning in. I want to welcome everybody from near and far. So we are at 1 minute out. Oh, no, it is 9:15, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! It is another Thursday. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, everybody. It's so exciting. And as you can see here, I am mad for March. There is so much going on right now in our company. I just love it that there is no downtime in terms of, just another day at the office, right? There's never another day at the office. It's always exciting. I love what our company is doing. And so my job, as we know, every week is to come to welcome you guys, and especially on our first week of the month, the thing that we're always going to do is we want to recognize all of the achievements for the month that just passed. So the last month was February, and we're going to be sharing those names. This is just, again, our little card, a great reminder that we have not only this Zoom link, we have a Facebook page for Baystate. We also have a Facebook page for our New England Legal Shield. There are my number and Jim's number on this little card. So if you haven't already taken a screenshot, remind me. I can certainly make it a little bigger. And that we do have a lot of things that are coming up. I'll be able to get there. My name is Jo Welch. I am here in the amazing state of Massachusetts. And I would say that those of us in Massachusetts that are the ones that do, because everyone is saying that you can't build a business in Massachusetts, and our job is to prove them wrong. So that is our joy to share. And we're going to start with our making a difference. We had a lot of people making a difference in February. And I got to say, let's just to jump ahead a little. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 long lists of folks who made a difference in February. We already see that we are inspiring each other, moving forward. So I just want to do a shout out. I'm going to remind folks, if you can, to make sure that you are muted. I just want to go ahead and there we go. Perfect. And so Nancy and Kevin Montville, Bharat Singh, Bob Cheesley, Darcy Sher, Yvonne Arakasa, Augustine Bouye, Melissa Delfonso, John Heichel Lasaint, Shiabula, Amy Rurick, Amy Mahoney, Tondo Kell, Cheryl Miller, Jay Baker, Teresa Kanash, Ernesto Pinder, Sharon Mendes, Diase Shima, Michelle and Daniel True, Amanda Scott, Harry Withy, Stan Snow, Bobby O'Connor, Fahara Akinda, Jim Tanner, Fitzgerald Santime, Diane Campbell, Nola Fennessy, Joe Welch, oh, that's me, Yvette Eldridge, Connie Ayat, and Julie Gershon, congratulations, because you did what we are asking everybody to do, which is most of the people on this call. I just want to tell you, I'm so excited. You did that first step. You did the first building block, which was just to protect one family. And I just want to thank you so much, because that means at least if everyone has just one family, we've protected probably, what are we looking at? Almost 30 families between us.
Hey, Joe, is there more slide? Is the slide stuck? Because everybody's saying this. We don't see the
Oh, thank you for letting me know. I don't know, because my slides are moving.
Yeah, not here. We just saw the time is now, which is pretty.
How about this?
It's black.
It's black. Well, I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to say things out loud. So, and I'm going to read off the names because it's okay. You know how awesome that slide looks. Now imagine your name next to that amazing slide. So we made a difference with all those folks. And now the Performance Club is that second step. Not only did you protect one family, but you either achieved Performance Club with $100 of premium or $200 of premium. And if you did get a recruit in there or more, there are multipliers that they do math with, and you're able to get your sales and then reach those levels even easier. I'm going to try one more time and see if it's in my favor. And if not, I'm still just going to read it. So let's see. And Connie Aya, you let me know if you could see it. Yeah,
Yep, you're good.
All right. Third time's the charm. So Diane Campbell, Fitzgerald Sandheim, Fahara Akinda, Connie Aya, congratulations. Yvette Eldridge, 42 months. Me, 28 months. Stan Snow, 5 months. Nola Fennessy, 181 months. We were doing the math on that, Nola, to figure out how many years it was. Oops, she stepped away from her screen. We have 165 months with Julie Gershon and 83 months with Jim Tanner. Amazing, amazing. And I'm going to actually take the risk here, and I'm going to go ahead and step out of our wonderful PowerPoint to bring you guys into the next upcoming event. Now, remember, the things that we're always doing, again, is always duplicatable. I always want to remind people that wherever your team is, if that's what your culture is, I'm hoping that you're plugging into there and leading by example. But also because you're part of New England, we always have events that are happening here. And so one of them, am I sharing it? Do we see the amazing Elizabeth Gardner? Excellent. So this is the great, do you see this here? GR8 Northeast Super Saturday.eventbrite.com. That is our Eventbrite page. And every month there is the next Super Saturday. Now, Mrs. Elizabeth Gardner has a very well-known husband as well. And he's the one who said, is it Dave? Am I right? Am I no?
John Gardner.
My apologies. John Gardner. And he said, you're not thinking big enough. So when you hear people quote that, that's a John Gardner statement. You're not thinking big enough. And he's just reminding us that sometimes we like to play it safe. He has since passed. We just lost him in recent times. So Mrs. Elizabeth Gardner is still amazing. She was in charge and involved with, as you can see here, the Ladies of Justice. She's the chairwoman. She's a $600,000 ring earner, platinum world counselor, and millionaire club member. Now, what we see here also is that with this Eventbrite, we want people to sign in early. The goal is so we can start knowing who's showing up. And the other piece is that we always have a briefing at the beginning of it. So when you go here to the Eventbrite, you'll be able to register. And I just want to let folks know that even if you're not able to make it, you are able to call in, because when you get your registration confirmation, there is a phone number that will be attached. And also for our deaf folks, when you sign in, you will get a phone number in your confirmation. So if you choose to come to our Super Saturday here in New England, you're able to access interpreter services as well. So let me go ahead and get out of there. Thank you so much. And I'm going to come back to our slide deck. I hope you're wishing me well on this, because technology is sometimes mysterious. How we doing? Awesome. All right. So what we did is we were given that schedule in advance to make sure that we're holding those Super Saturdays. What's exciting is that this upcoming March 13th is the next Super Saturday, but in April is our convention. It's our conference. So get ready. It's virtual. There are tickets still available, very affordable. If you buy them from corporate, I think they're $99. But what I recommend is what many recommend is go up your line to your next executive director, anybody on your team, because folks do have these tickets that are available and they may be more affordable. Oh, there you go. And so imagine yourself sitting in one of those seats, but instead you can just be on your couch with your popcorn and some pop, and you can just be enjoying it, taking notes, shoes off, hair akimbo. And of course, this night would not be the night of all nights of the week, the one that you look forward to the most without my partner in crime, the hostess with the mostest. Our fearless regional director here, Mr. Jim Tanner, father of Olive, and that is probably the greatest accomplishment that he can have. And then somewhere down the line is also being our mentor, our friend, and the lighthouse.
I'll take it. Well, hello, everybody. Hey, first of all, Joe, great job. Congratulations to you on another big month, February 2021. And for everything you do behind the scenes, because and this week we didn't get to connect. So, we're just, hey, listen, a family meeting, right? So Joe and I normally connect every Wednesday, 30 minutes anyway, in the worst case scenario, ideally an hour, and then to the
usually
detriment of our businesses and
usually making ourselves late for the next one.
And our families, yeah, usually over an hour. But we didn't get to meet this week, and you probably saw a little of that play out here. But what Joe does when I'm not distracting her is help everybody in all the states. So congratulations to everything you do for your own team, for your own business, for your own family, and also for all of ours as well. We appreciate you. And you're welcome. And I also want to congratulate everybody that participated last week on Thursday night when we did the briefing, so we built on these skills, right? Where we talked about how to do effective membership testimonials, and then weaved those membership testimonials into an actual briefing. We talked about how to tell your Legal Shield story, not about how much money you've made or how you became a millionaire in America, which is a good story, and 275 plus families have that story at Legal Shield, but the story that matters to people, your story, the story that allows people to have that epiphany that are watching the presentation to say, if it worked for her, if it worked for him, if it worked for them and their family, maybe this could work for me too. And you guys did a great job on that last week. And I, for the first time in all of my career, got to do a presentation with the great Nola Fennessy, who just does, listen, they say success leaves clues. No one is surprised that she did an impeccable membership presentation. There was so much I was learning about how to position the membership from her that I've already borrowed and made my presentations better over the last 7 days. So to you, Nola, I'm grateful for you, and to everybody that participated, whether you were doing a testimonial or you were just there to learn and hopefully brought guests as well. That was excellent. But isn't it interesting, as Joe kind of alluded to, it feels like that was a generation ago, because we woke up on March 1st to a brave new world at Legal Shield. Now let's go back before we talk about what's right now in the moment. We had a pandemic and it's still going on. I'm on my church finance committee, and we had a Zoom meeting tonight. We meet the first Thursday of every month by Zoom instead of in person. We haven't met in person in a year now. And we talked about how we get back into the building, how we get our community back together, what goes back to the way it was, and what goes forward totally different. And it made me reflect really on what the year has been like, because about this time last year, in my personal business, we started to think about kind of picturing the worst of what might happen. We were concerned about our own personal health and the health of our spouses and our children in our own homes. And then beyond that, in our communities, our extended family and our friends. What's going to happen? Will this be the dark days? And as it is our human nature, many of us, myself included, the optimist that I am, began to weave the possibly worst case scenarios in my mind. Well, here we are a year later. And while we've lost some people and we've had some tough times, we are all here. We're here. And it's worth acknowledging that. And over the course of that year, we learned how resilient we all are individually and collectively. Truth is, the business didn't just survive, the Legal Shield business, it exploded. The reality of needing the membership was just even more of a no-brainer than it's ever been in the past. The opportunity to work from home that everybody suddenly got, not everybody, but a lot of people, they started to realize that if they were going to work from home, maybe they wanted to call their own shots. Maybe working from home wasn't the goal. Maybe having total time freedom was the goal. Maybe being your own boss was the goal. And so recruiting went up all over the company. And the most interesting metric, in my opinion, is retention, because you would think, and I have a lot of people in my team that are focused in business solutions, contacting companies, enrolling the employees of those companies to bring Legal Shield and ID Shield to their family as a voluntary benefit. You would think that business would have been decimated. I remember some enrollments that we did here in Massachusetts right around this time last year, big enrollments that worked out really well and that I was excited about, only to have all of those employees furloughed and to watch the pre-cancel report climb from just a handful of names to page after page after page, and in the comments section have it say, no longer employed. It did look like dark days. But what we realized was, now looking back on it with the ability to look back at what actually happened, we did the work. We contacted the people to make sure that they knew that they could keep their membership, and retention is at record highs. People wanted to keep their Legal Shield and ID Shield membership. They didn't want to be without it. Even when they were uncertain about their financial situation, they didn't want to be without their Legal Shield membership. And so I said all that to say that our businesses collectively have thrived. Many of you joined Legal Shield in this 12-month period. Many of you on the Zoom, many of you watching in the Facebook groups or catching this replay later. We have thrived, we have survived, we are resilient. Now we have to take and acknowledge that and move forward with it. And on March 1st, Legal Shield made an announcement. I bet people think they tell me stuff like this ahead of time. They did not. I bet people think that, I've got some kind of inside track. I've got friends at the office. Now I have friends at the office, but they're good at keeping secrets. I had no idea before you did that this was going to come down. And that's why I say what we did 7 days ago at the end of the month of February feels like a lifetime ago. Never in my career, never in the history of the company, a company that was founded before I was born, there has never been a time where it has been so clear how you can get involved in the business and the membership. $99. In the month of March, I just want to talk about this, and I'll do some training with you. We would love to hear some membership testimonials. I have one that I want to share. $99, Joe, and everybody, $99. It makes it such a simple and captivating story to tell. And like all of you, I hope that on April 1st, they say we're going to keep it going because it works so well. And on May 1st, and that a year from today, that it just becomes our culture. I don't know if that's going to happen. And honestly, I kind of doubt it. It's just too good to imagine that. I told you about how well we've done in the most unprecedented circumstances to share with you, to help you to imagine, what will we do with this? See, $99 is a psychological price point. Under $100 in even these uncertain times, people can consider that a viable option and to not have to stack the membership and the associate agreement. I mean, how many times have you had to have that conversation with a prospect where it can be a little bit confusing to put things in a cart and to have a number that's just not as neat and tidy as 99 be the checkout amount. This is so clear. And so what I wanted to say as we think about this and and celebrate together the fact that we get this tool to explode our individual businesses. I want to share with you what I shared with my own personal team and my friends. And I wanted to give everybody the benefit of my historical perspective, because there's been incentives in the past. There's been programs that really were focused on building up recruiting in the past. And what I'm going to tell you, I learned from these other programs that were not anywhere near as massive as far as potential as what this is. Here's what I learned. When we had programs that were designed to increase recruiting, what you have to do is you have to, even though we have the whole calendar month, you have to look at this as what you do over the first 7 days, maybe the first 10 days tops. Here's why. It would be easy to say, you know, I'm going to recruit 10 people this month with this program. And you could, that's realistic, because we have people that we've talked to about Legal Shield that we have to follow up with. We have people we've never talked to about Legal Shield that we have to expose. We have all of that. We have folks that are on the fence. This will get them off the fence. But if you take the month to do it, what happens is you steal from those new associates the opportunity to most maximize this that we're talking about today. Here's what I mean. Let's say you're sharing the business opportunity with me, which I often wish that in 1994, when that gentleman came into where I worked and shared the membership with me, that he had just heard about a $99 business builder package, because he would have had it in the front of his mind and he would have told me about it. I'm confident, but he didn't. He shared the membership, and I'm grateful for that. But I could really have used those 10 years of earning commissions for the memberships I was already referring. You've heard that story. Imagine though, if you were to sit down with me on the 25th of the month, how excited I would be to hear that I could get what is normally a $99 associate fee. I could get an entire business builders bundle for $99. I would be grateful, but I would only have a few days left in the month to turn around and capitalize on that incentive to launch my Legal Shield business. And I would only have a few days to capitalize on it to maybe share it with my first recruit. Like when I recruited Bill Sharon, my first recruit in the business, my friend, someone I'd known for 30 years. Let's say he was the first person again that I went to on the 27th of the month, 2 days after you signed me up. And now he was able to take advantage of it. But you see, the clock ticks and ticks and ticks. And with only a few days left, we can't maximize the opportunity the way the people that knew about it on the first of the month could. So that's why I implore everybody today to take massive advantage in the first 7 to maximum 10 days to get this in front of everybody. Because when your new prospects sign up, when you sign me up on the 4th or the 5th of the month, I have almost the entire month to take advantage, to build my business. And so here's what happens. That's what duplication is. That's what multiplication instead of addition is. So instead of you having a great month of recruiting where you recruit 5 or 10 new associates onto your team, what if your team explodes because you just pushed that to the first week of the month? And that push that you do of 5 new associates becomes 30 or 40 or 50 new associates in the month of March. What would that do to your business? Imagine what your bank account would look like 90 days from now if at the end of the month of March you had 30 brand new associates in your team, all focused on being trained the right way, excited, getting Performance Club qualified, being Fast Start qualified, enjoying the fruits of their work, and also moving into a new year, a new time in our history with a brand new business. This is that moment. And so I want to share that with everybody. Now I've got some other stuff I'd like to share, but I want to tell Joe a membership testimonial. If I can, I talked about this. I'm not going to do it the 30-second thing, but I talked about this in the briefing because I was so impressed. And I just want to teach you guys to ask this question. So Danielle, she was recently, a book came out that she edited, and you know, we're all very excited about that. It's a big undertaking. And so she was asked to do another one off of the success of this book. And so we got the contract. We always have our contracts reviewed by Legal Shield. This was quite a contract. It was still under 15 pages, but man, they wrote the type small. I was glad it was under 15 pages because it ended up being free. But it was a lot of dense information, and it involved multiple states, the state we live in, the state the company is is set up in, and then the state where some meetings were going to be going on. So Legal Shield met with us over the telephone, took this document and reviewed it for a week because they had to do some research and they had to consult with the attorneys in the other states, and then met with us again to go over it line by line by line to make sure that we understood what we were signing and that everything was going to be fair and fine. And that's how it worked out. So there was no issues. Now, one time before, they had found in a contract that Danielle would have given up her intellectual property had she signed the contract. Everything she'd created, if she had done this course for another group of people, had she signed that contract, they would have owned the material that she was teaching, even though she'd created it. So I'm glad for that. That's a different story. But in this case, the reason I wanted to bring this up, so everything was working out fine. And it was great, and we were happy. So I asked the attorney, because he was just so easy to talk to. I said, let me ask you, I'm an associate. I'm just curious if you can tell me, if we were not members, what would that have cost? Like, what would you have had to charge? And so he explained what he did. That's why I know exactly what went into this, because I asked that question. And he said, Jim, there's no way we could have done it for less than $750. And I'm just reminded again, almost $2 million later, decades later, what we do matters. Who's going to spend $750 to make sure that their rights are covered on a contract that's not going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars? Most people would have just signed that document or other documents like that. Most people go through their whole lives not having things taken care of because they consult their bank account first. And he went on to tell me, and I just wanted to share this too before I turn it back. I know I'm being lengthy, but I'm excited to see everybody. He said, because I was excited, so then he was excited. And he said, well, let me tell you this other thing that happened. We just sent a letter to another Legal Shield member, for another Legal Shield member, to a company that owed them money. And they had paid a different attorney $4,200 to have a letter sent and got no satisfaction from it. And the letter wasn't even correct. And the lawyers messed up the amounts and stuff. He said, we sent that letter the correct way. We sent basically the same letter for free. And then he went on to say, because he was excited, we do that every single day. We fire off letters like that every single day. So there are business owners, small business owners and solopreneurs that are making a decision of spending thousands of dollars to send a letter to hope that they get their money back from someone that owes them money. In other words, what we do every day is a business that yes, financially benefits us, but man, whether we do it or not really, really matters. So Joe, I just wanted to share that. I think we were going to ask if anybody else wanted to do testimonials, like real ones, like the 30 seconds that we practiced. And I'm going to turn it back over to you to chat with the folks for a second. And then I've got a few things I'd like to share at the end as well.
Excellent. And are we also, just want to check in for time again. So you guys are seeing, like he said, how the sausage is made. Jim, are we also doing the review of the March Madness? And you are muted.
Are you speaking about the team?
The slides that you sent me? Did you want to review that?
Well, the slides I sent you were the $99 business builder bundle.
Oh,
if people have questions, I would absolutely, this would be the forum to ask them, especially if you're too shy to ask anybody else.
That's perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unspotlight us both. And then what I'm going to ask for is for two folks who have a brand new testimony, whether it's, we're looking at membership testimony. We had made that as our assignment. So I see Miss Fennessy. Now, Nola, I'm not sure, and I see you, Constance. I'm not sure if you heard, but Jim was tooting your horn and very excited about what you did for us at the end of last month. Thank you so very much for your presentation. And he said he had taken notes and he was already putting those changes into his own presentations, and that is no surprise. So thank you so much for your work. I know you had stepped away from your camera, so I wasn't.
Yeah, thank you for that. And actually, likewise to Mr. Tanner, because I was taking notes and have already implemented plans. I mean, not plans, but strategies and wording that he had used. So thank you, Mr. Tanner. I just did a three-way call to bring on a new associate for a team member. So that's why I stepped away.
No worries. So you have a testimony for us.
Yeah, I used it today. I used Legal Shield without using Legal Shield. I was on the phone with Spectrum Mobile for far too long. The Spectrum representative a month ago when we switched to Spectrum Mobile had promised us that we could bundle with a bundle. It'd be cheaper just to throw TV, Spectrum TV in there. We said, okay, if it's cheaper. Nope, was not accurate. He did not tell us the truth. And then Spectrum said, we can't refund you because you had Spectrum TV all month. And I was like, just could you please, I said, I've already been on with you 20 minutes. Could you please just give me the address for your legal department? And lo and behold, I was immediately switched to a person who could give me the refund. I didn't even have to call the law firm. I just had to say I was going to.
There you go. Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And did I see, was it Constance who had her hand raised for, okay, hang on a second. Let me see if I can spotlight. And there you are.
I'm unmuted.
You are.
I have a quick brand new story for you, hot off the press. So I have a daughter who was in a car accident Christmas Eve 2 years ago. It was pretty bad. She had surgery and a bone removed from her foot. The other people's insurance company were offering her $1,500. I told her she had to call the law firm. She called the law firm and they've been working on it now for 2 years. And last week they settled on an agreement for $65,000. That's it.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
And I hope she's doing all right. And I am so happy that she found a great resolution. Thank you so much for that testimony. And so again,
Right.
remember everybody, you guys are story collectors as well as storytellers, and those were two fantastic stories today. We do have about 16 minutes left. We do have that business bundle happening right now. How many people here are feeling like, I don't need to ask anything. I totally have all the answers. Now's a great time to put up some of those questions. If there is, I will go ahead and invite you, if you raise your hand, to let me know that you have a question, or you are welcome to put it in the chat as well.
I'll answer a question that people might come up with during the month that was answered for us on our leadership call. What if someone's already a member? Can they sign up with that bundle price even though they already have their membership? Yes, still fill it out the same way as the business builders, and it'll recognize them as members, and it'll take their price down.
I think you're bringing up a great point that there's some questions we could probably throw in there. I was sharing, this is my back office. And so you can see here that this is the FAQ sheet that looks like this. So there are questions that are answered in your back office. Here is the presentation. And then there's a universal associate application in your back office. So I just wanted to point that out. For those of you who are doing any kind of business in Massachusetts, we only have Legal Shield and ID Shield. We don't have any of the other services. However, the bundle still works. Now, I just want to note, in case people are not aware, you have to go through your wall. You have to go through your name.legalshield.com. You can't use a checkout link. You have to go through that wall for that bundle to play out. And I haven't had this question, but based on what Nola just said, I believe that, like, let's say you had somebody who had who needed a Massachusetts Legal Shield. I guess technically, as long as they have a membership, then you finish the package, and therefore they'll get that bundle rate, which is good. I'm seeing some questions here. Do sponsors receive commissions even though the new associates are not paying anything for the products in the free month? So, to clarify, there are two components to the builder's bonus. There is the memberships, which we get paid commissions on, and then there's the associate agreement, which we do not. The discount is actually on the associate agreement. Legal Shield is saying they are not taking that money. Instead of taking $99, they're taking whatever the difference is. So we actually do not lose any money on the deal at all. I saw Josh, did you have your hand up? Are you able to be visible, or are you just audio? Oh, there's Josh. Hang on a second. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi. Does anybody hold clubhouse meetings with Legal Shield?
Raise your hand if you are aware of what Clubhouse is. All right. That means that all of you have iPhones. So those of you who did not raise your hand, you may not know what Clubhouse is, and that it is a new social media group. It's a lot like a whole lot of conference calls on almost every topic under the sun. Thank you for asking, Josh. Nola, I saw you nodding your head. Are you saying that there are Legal Shield specific Clubhouse groups already?
I believe so. I can't tell you anything specific, but I know I've heard people talking about it. And I think it may have been on the possibly Legal Shield associate support.
Okay, groovy. Yeah, I'm on Clubhouse where I'm trying to get an identity theft channel going, or club, or whatever that is. And so just again, raise your hand. So Clubhouse again is right now only iPhone. Just raise your hand and so you can look around the room. So Nola, Michael Robideau, Josh Freeman, who else has an iPhone? Nola Fennessy, just that we should find each other. Michelle True, Connie Ayat, Constance Archer. If you're on with an iPhone and on Clubhouse. I will just remind you that it is not an accessible platform at this point, so it is kind of exclusionary. So let's just make sure that if we're doing anything amazing, that we're sharing it on all the different social medias. Does anybody have any other questions specifically about the bundle? I just want to make sure that we're addressing that because that is new. Does anyone need me to repeat out loud what the bundle includes and how the finances work? By a show of hands, does someone want me to say that out loud? Okay, so do you have a question, Clifford?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
So a question, I'm in Massachusetts. So would I call up somebody, Jim, that have Massachusetts licenses and go through their walls, and then there's some way for me to absorb the associate?
I think that it would be probably that we would sign them up. We would sign them up to get the legal plan, however that happens. As long as they have the member number, once that's there, then when they go in through your wall, when they go into your site, they would just add the bundle.
Because I don't have a license, there doesn't seem to be a bundle link on my walls.
Oh, that is interesting. So I'm going to go ahead, Jim, unless you have.
So if I go up to New Hampshire, like for
Right.
Tanya, who joined us last week,
Yep.
I can do it. But if the location is Massachusetts, because I don't have a license, it doesn't offer me any of those things.
That's actually true. I'll take that because I had to answer this in the team.
Beautiful.
I talked to Carol on the ED line, and yeah, so there's no way around that. Essentially, like for me, I don't have a Tennessee license. If somebody goes to my website and they select Tennessee as their state, when they click on Business Builder, they're going to get that screen that says contact us. It's like a lead form that'll come to me. It won't progress them to the sign up form.
Wow.
I'm not licensed to sell them a legal plan. Thus, it doesn't work. And I asked her, well, what's the workaround? And she said, there's no workaround. So whether that, if this becomes a culture shift, which no one's told me that, or if it's a promotion, I just think that's just how it is. If it's the direction that the company's going in, then probably in the future there'll be a workaround. But that's the company line right now is, if you're not licensed, you can't do it. I mean, here would be the workaround. You could have your upline, if your upline has that license, have them sign that person up, but they're going to get the membership sales. That's just how that is. So you're going to give that up, but then they could place that associate under you because there's a 48-hour window. I don't want to do a whole training on placing, but experienced associates have manual placement set up, which means that people go into this kind of corral for 48 hours maximum, where then they're manually placed in the organization where you want them to go. So I could go to my upline in that situation and say, I'm going to put this person through on your website. You keep the membership, that's yours, but please place him under me when you see that come through. That'd be the workaround, but you'd lose the commission and the premium dollars on that membership, which is, in my opinion, a small price to pay, because if you recruited me, you wouldn't have gotten a membership sale because I already had the membership, but you'd done okay. You would have done okay.
But I think that I know that in some teams, you have to find who that person is who has the Massachusetts license or the license in that state.
Yep.
A lot of us do have those. And so that is You can sign up, Constance saying you can sign up an associate with ID Shield in a licensed state. But the question is, can you get the bundle? Is
The
what we're
button doesn't work, Constance. That's the problem.
right. So you're correct that someone can just sign up for ID Shield and then just pay the $99 fee, admin fee. But the question is, can they get the discount? And that's what we're discussing here. Oh, Constance added, you sign them up with the associate and the ID Shield, and then the licensed person does the legal part. Is that a workaround? Very possibly. I think we're going to have to test it out. You are more than welcome to bring your Massachusetts and Alaska people to me. I will happily test out that theory and see if it works.
I'm answering some questions on Facebook. I'm not being rude.
Okay. So it's, I see here, Nola says, there's a question from Steve that I couldn't see, but it says associates can choose to sign up without the home business plan, but they'll not get the bundle discount for their associate fee. They'll just pay the regular $99.
So Steve asked, which I would like you to address that second part, because the real question is in the second part of Steve's question. He says, can new associates choose to sign up without the home business supplement? Yes, they can. The bundle is what, it won't give them the bundle discount. They just sign up for $99 if that's what they choose. And then his second part is, will that count against retention if they drop it later? Yes. But if you could please, Joe or Jim, address, it's all in the value of, the idea isn't that they will drop it later. If you want to address that, that'd be great.
I'd like to talk about that because we had this discussion in our leadership team of underselling versus overselling the membership. So there's a conventional wisdom, and by the way, this is a discussion. It's not one right and one wrong, but there's been a prevailing wisdom over the years. We've all heard it probably, that says, make sure you sell the person what they can afford. But I think that's over the years been interpreted as, well, let's give them the least amount of membership we can to get them started. The reality is that people, if they are taught how to extract the value from their membership, whether that's in an employee benefits group, one-on-one with a friend, or them purchasing memberships to become an associate, if they see that as actual value that they're going to use on a daily basis, not a requirement to join the business, then your retention will reflect that. So when you start to see people dropping off, ask yourself, what is the upstream issue on that? Because my experience had been when we went from sales counters, I don't want to go way back, sorry about this, but when we moved from sales counters to premium, it was immediately clear in my own organization that people were selling the least amount of product they could to achieve a result instead of what the customer needed. The reality is the customer that's joining the business should have a home business supplement, but that isn't always the case because we want to create the smallest price point possible. That's kind of our mindset. And as associates, so when they get a legal plan to protect their family with a home business supplement to protect their brand new Legal Shield business, and identity theft is in the news constantly. It's not, we didn't manufacture the problem because we had a solution. This is a true answer to a tsunami of financial disaster for people when identity theft lands on their door, and it's proactive monitoring. They should have that with 3-bureau coverage. And if they're a family, that's the product. And by the way, in the home business space that we're all in, when you look at what is the, what people would call the auto ship or the qualifying purchase, Brian Crothers would be the first person to tell you this. The average is well over $100 per month in what people are expected to purchase for their own family, whether that's, products or health and beauty or nutrition or whatever it is. And so we're offering thousands of dollars worth of services for pennies on the dollar. I think what you'll find is that if people know what they're signing up for, that you'll have the retention of that business. Did I over answer that? Joe, do you want to add to that, or Nola?
Just to tag on to what Nola's highlighting and what Jim is saying is absolutely that we're aiming towards that everything should come through a value. What's the value? What are we listening? in terms of our clients, what is it that they need? But then also, all of us here are trying to grow our businesses. And if we're not thinking wisely about the impact of not doing a good job to either make sure that people understand what they're getting with the home business plan, trying to cut a corner, then the way those corners are going to get cut is in the example that there were some people. So you see this March Madness right now, there's the leadership, people who are senior directors and above are able to set up teams to do just a nice friendly team competition within the associates. But unfortunately, if you don't have at least a 65% retention in your organization, you're not able to participate. And so again, we're taking care of our client by listening to what they need, but also we have to take care of our business and say, it's not sustainable if you're at a 25% or 30%. Like, what's going on with your business that people are leaving it in a short amount of time? And then that goes back again, if we're really listening to our prospects and our clients and knowing what they need, then we're giving them the things that they actually require in their lives. And that's only going to help you continue with your retention. Yeah. And so, especially with the home-based business, it actually is quite powerful. So this is what I had asked, and I think some people wanted me just to reiterate. So it comes with a legal plan, and I like the strategy, and I don't know if Constance has done it, but you get the ID shield first, plus the associate, and then the person in the licensed state gets the legal shield. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm wondering, I hope it works. So you get the $25, right? I'm rounding up for the legal shield. Let's say it's a 3-bureau family plan, $30, right? They're doing $54.90. In the states that have it, it's another $13 for the home business plan, and that is $67. If they get the 90, it completes to 99, a couple things happens. One, you have a recruit. Two, you are now PC qualified, because the recruit is the qualifier for that. So just with one sale. And then the thing we just have to make sure is that they know that in a month, they're not just going to be charged $67. They're going to be charged $87 because of the $20 office fee. So just being cognizant of what it is so that it's transparent to them so people know what they're choosing. Because they may choose to still be the associate for $99, but not necessarily have the ongoing maybe they're not ready for the home business plan. Maybe there's reasons why they're not ready for that. And we don't know because everybody's a little different. Was that helpful? Does anybody have any other questions or a burning membership story that you are just dying to wrap our night up with? This is an amazing time. For $99 in all of our states, regardless of the Lego positions we have to be in, for $99, people are in the first month, people are not only getting an associate agreement, but they're also able to get an amazing suite of services. This is the direction we're going in with COVID. It is our duty to make sure that people understand that there's something out there for them. We're going to get caught up in the sale of it. We're going to get caught up in the pricing of it. I'm actually backing off and having the conversation about I'm actually making sure that people want to work with us. Let's sit down for an interview. Let's talk about it. And then I'm calling it in response to COVID, we actually have a franchise fee, a discounted franchise fee this March. And so just looking at it in a little bit of a different, instead of looking at it as because I came at it like, I'm so excited about the discount, but they don't even know what it is. So for me, just even that little reframe of saying, we do have a traditional franchise fee, but in response to COVID and everything that's going on, we're actually, here's the grand total for that. And so, the clearer they are, the better, they'll stick and stay. This is Clifford saying, I may not want to say franchise. Does anybody? I'm not sure why that is, but do you want to say?
It has legal ramifications.
Cool. Got it.
Call your lawyer.
I will.
They can explain it to you.
Fair enough. But, and happy to change it. So, being able to get the business for less. And thank you for that heads up. With that, you guys are amazing. I swear, I just love, and I'll probably say this every time we come together, I just feel closer and closer to all of you. It does not feel like we are so many miles apart. I'm very comfortable in our Zoom space. And I feel like this has now become one of our home bases. And so I wish you guys the most amazing week. I cannot wait to hear how many bundles have been covered. If anybody is on the Madness teams, I wish you like the most generous of recruiting and people signing up and just loving Legal Shield. For those of you who are going after your first sale or your first sale of the month, I wish you just the most amazing, amazing time. I wish you ease, and I wish you just the facility to say all the right things. I'm just aiming that in your direction. I can't wait to see you guys next Thursday. Have an amazing, amazing day. Don't forget to sign up for the Super Saturday and use your membership and come back with more membership stories. With that, we're signing out. Thank you so much.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I love
Thank
this.
you.
You guys are awesome.
Right.